Hi everyone, it's August 17, 2021. You're watching me, Nikki Yu, also known as Pieces Trader for the Awesome 10X Global Market Update. In today's big news, let's read about the Roblox earnings report. Their second quarter 2021 financial results are out. Revenue is up 127% to $454 million. Bookings have increased 35% to $665 million. Net cash from their operations is up 64% to $191 million. Roblox is a global platform bringing millions of people together through their shared experiences, and they've released and posted their shareholders letter and supplemental materials on their investors relations website. Let's read through their highlights. Revenues 454, net loss $140 million. Net cash provided by operating activities is $191 million. Free cash flow is $168 million, more than 70% up over Q2 2020. Average daily active users is up 29% year over year, driven by growth in Canada. US to Canada is up 42%, 46% over the age of 13 compared to Q2 2020. Hours engaged are 9.7 billion hours, an increase of 13%, primarily driven by 27% growth in engagement in markets outside of US and Canada, 29% growth of users over the age of 13. Average bookings per daily average user is now $15.41, a slight increase year over year. Some estimates and increases, let's read through this. Their daily active users for July 2021 as of last month is already up 28% year over year. Hours engaged for the month is 3.8 billion hours, up 22%. Bookings are $221 to $224 million for the month, up sequentially 10 to 11% from June 2021 and up 19 to 20% year over year when bookings were just $200 million, suggesting growth on Roblox business per se. Our continued growth demonstrates an importance for mission and the power of our platform. These results are fueled both by the creator ecosystem and the millions of people around the world who want to connect and share their experiences every day on Roblox. Free cash flow is at record levels. The third quarter is off to a strong start. Let's go further to the Roblox events and presentations. These are their shareholders letter and supplemental materials. Let's go through it. So far, we could see that Roblox is actually down 5% last night, but I don't think this had anything to do with their earnings report. Although their earnings is actually a miss from analyst views, I'd say that these analysts have so much and so high of their targets that are just a miss. Market cap is $45 billion. We could see that the market is paying for growth when it comes to Roblox. Nonetheless, even with that number, let's see further how it can go in the next 5 years. Let's see. So the revenues is the user is spending $25 on the Roblox platform to purchase 2,500 Robux. User is spending this within 3 days on the platform to purchase virtual items and consumable virtual items. So this is how they book their revenue. That is the recognized revenue of about $220 million per month. Okay, so revenue has been growing. Notice revenue per quarter has gone from 100 million to as much as $454 million. It could be that this company can grow to as high as $700 million in a single quarter, which explains why people are willing to pay up for growth on Roblox. You could see this growth, 100, then managed to be 200, and it's now 450. For all we know, this is $600 million in second quarter 2022. 4 main expense buckets. They have a cost of revenue. They have been paying developer exchange fees, personal costs, excluding stock-based compensation, and a certain infrastructure and trust and safety. You could see that most of their growth is based on their scalability. Most of their costs are growing because their average revenues are also growing. They have to pay so much in their infrastructure. So look at their cost from $25 million to $100 million times 4, just when their sales also grew from $100 million to $400 million. Developer exchange fees have also been growing, $22 million to $130 million here. Take a look, personal cost is growing as well. So they have been hiring more headcounts. Headcounts have been growing from 450 people to 1,234 people. Infrastructure has also been growing, but this is as a percentage of revenue falling down from 22% of revenue down to 17%. Number of bookings 17% to 11%, which tells you their infrastructure as time goes by is falling and decreasing as a percent. GAAP net losses, perhaps this is what is getting sellers to actually sell from $70 million to $140 million. Of course, even if they have $800 million of revenues in the next quarters, if they're going to grow their losses, that is actually a question because of the rising costs and developer exchange fees. So far, you could see the total cost and expenses growing 100% as well, just like their revenues. So there's that variability. Okay, so I think most of the question is on those costs, but you could see their free cash flows has also been growing in pace with their growth. Okay, so these are the supplemental materials from Roblox. And let's read through their shareholders letter. We are improving our technology and infrastructure to comprise our user gaming experience platform, fueling a dynamic ecosystem, attracting users of all ages from all across the globe. We finished our quarter with 43 million daily active users and more than 9.7 billion total hours of engagement. So you could see that this is just like Netflix. Roblox and Netflix is kind of similar. When Netflix was starting out, they also had massive losses every quarter as they kept on scaling their library. In the case of Roblox, they kept on scaling their platforms. So they have to spend so much on infrastructure, so much on developer exchange fees that they actually had losses. Nonetheless, that was paid for by 50 million users or approximately 50 million users. You've got 47 million users spending 3.8 billion hours of engagement. If you're viewing this as a future Netflix, since everyone is spending, at least the next generation is spending a lot of billions of hours in gaming, you could clearly see that the people paying up for Roblox right now at $45 billion market cap is similar to the people paying for Netflix at about $40 before, which eventually went, Netflix is now trading at $500 or 10x above because they are investing in that human experience wherein the human experience wants to have entertainment through Metaverse, which is Roblox. We remain committed to build a human co-experience platform enabling shared experiences among billions of users. This is the first quarter in which our results compared to the last quarter is fully affected by COVID-19. Between quarter 1 and quarter 2, the daily active users on Roblox grew by 42%. The hours of engagement grew by 76%. Bookings doubled, increasing more than 98%. Sequential growth has continued uninterrupted, and the overscale in Q2 is significantly larger than it was in 2020. Depending on metrics, Roblox is somewhere between 2.5 to 4 times larger now than it was in Q2 2019. Take the long view. That is our core value. Look forward, invest, because we have enormous opportunities in front of us. So let's learn more. In terms of talent, they've hired more than 700 employees in a single quarter. You could see that as of June 30, 2021, we now have 1,234 employees compared to just 751 last year. 77% of them are in product and engineering organizations. And in addition to our full-time employees, we have more than 3,600 people on our trust and safety system. We are welcoming industry veterans and academics, Morgan Maguire, in his new role as chief scientist. Morgan has worked as a consultant in the early days of Roblox alongside David and his co-founder Eric. Before joining Roblox, Morgan spent 12 years at NVIDIA and holding honorary faculty appointments at McGill University and University of Waterloo. Under Morgan's guidance, Roblox research will accelerate the development of novel technologies that can fundamentally enhance the experience of users on Roblox. Our developers also grew this quarter, up 53% year over year, up 5.6x over the $23.3 million that the developer community earned 2 years ago in Q2 2019. Throughout the first 6 months of 2021, our developer community exchange fees has earned $248 million as we continue to focus on pushing a greater share of the economics towards our developers, growing the overall pool of capital available to them. This is correct because if you're a Roblox developer, you want to get paid because this is similar to the content creator economy, wherein the developers are paid just as what Epic Games wants, just as what the Metaverse truly wants. So just like what Axie Infinity has been doing in the blockchain economy, they're making sure that the gamers are paid. In this case, Roblox pays the developers for for the quarterly revenues that they are able to generate, because this Robux virtual platform currency is made because of the games that these developers inside Roblox are doing. Content. We are supporting a large creative and motivated community of developers, leveraging all our free tools and infrastructure, and we continue to see many healthy signals in the content on Roblox. First, the economics are increasingly spread out across more experiences and more developers. In June of 2020, the top 10 experience on Roblox accounted for 58% of the inexperienced earnings, and in June of 2021, top 10 accounted for 37% of Robux earned. We continue to see a large flow of new content. In June of 2021, 26% of the top 100 experiences were created just the last year. 55% of the top 100 were created just 2 years ago. We are also seeing relevant aged-up content on Roblox. We define aged-up content as experiences where the majority of users have been above age 13. 12% of the top 1,000 engaging experiences qualified as aged up. That grew to 28% of the top 1,000, and there are likely several reasons. The fastest growing age cohort of Roblox is 13 above users. Developers continue to make more immersive age-up content as our tools and platforms improve. Music. We have been expanding relationships with music and publishing industries. We have announced a strategic partnership with BMG, developing new opportunities for the global artists and songwriters. In May, Sony Music hosted the first launch party on Roblox for one of their biggest global pop stars, Zara Larsson. This event drove more than 4 million visits to the 3D launch party experience, where Zara is performing songs, answering fans' questions via live chat. We are seeing Sony Music bringing more of their recording artists into the Roblox Metaverse. So this is the start of those concerts. And you saw this with Fortnite as well, and it's really happening. Concerts are happening worldwide online. There's the Gucci Garden. This is a brand partnership with Gucci. This is the very first physical opening its doors to the Metaverse on May 17. The same day, their physical exhibition in Florence, Italy happened. The Gucci Garden experiences showcase Roblox's latest developer tools, lighting technology, the power of limited digital fashion items, and collectibles. In 2 weeks' time, the Gucci Garden had nearly 20 million visits. In May, Roblox launched an immersive virtual party celebrating the In Heights, adapting from the hit Broadway musicals from Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda and directed by John M. Chu of Crazy Rich Asians. The launch party was also promoted by Miranda and Chu on the season finale of American Idol across social media, generating more than 10 million visits. Finally, Netflix launched the Stranger Things Persistent World on Roblox. This is a space for fans to connect and celebrate their fandom in between seasons. The world has visited 26 million times as of June 30, 2021. If you're going to ask me why the Metaverse or Roblox is being spent $45 billion market cap if their revenues are roughly around $1 billion year on year, it's actually because your people are seeing that they are seeing this as the next Facebook. You could see that Facebook can grasp the digital marketing share and advertising share, and that's what's happening right now with Roblox, but it hasn't been global yet. So you're seeing Gucci as a digital brand going forward with these Roblox Metaverse, Netflix, that's just the beginning. Let's read further. Roblox is now an increasingly global platform. We have some of the highest growth rates in international markets, such as Latin America and Asia. I'm pretty sure that Facebook is really wanting to fight Roblox because they're seeing that the future is Metaverse. In fact, Facebook said that the most repeated word inside the Facebook conference call was Metaverse because they're in direct opposition to Roblox. Facebook is now an $800 billion company. Roblox is just $45 billion company, 20 times larger is Facebook. That's because Facebook has proven those billions of dollars of digital advertising. Can $1 billion a year of revenue in Roblox grow to about $5 billion? If you can imagine that, then $45 billion market cap for Roblox is not expensive at all. So you're seeing that they've established in India. They're also establishing a dedicated data center in Mumbai. They're also doing in China an availability on Android and iOS. We've achieved levels of day one retention, giving us more confidence to begin a large scale user acquisition beginning this third quarter. We are also hosting our Luopu Developer Conference, which was attended by nearly 200 key developers, partners, educators, and game producers representing the growing Luopu community. I do think, guys, that the metrics don't actually show to you the strength of Roblox. That's why I have to repeat the reasons why we love Roblox. There are many reasons, but I'll begin with the most obvious. Everyone's paying Roblox for the democratization of tools. So it is a social media platform. Let's repeat why we like Roblox since the IPO and why we would continue to buy it on dips. Roblox is the basis of our imagination. So it's really something like this, right? So all the trailers, all the hypes, the momentum has been growing year after year, 5x in terms of the developers. And the reason why the developers have to continue to be growing is because there are more and more users. The platform has grown from 150 million. We're now talking about 400 million. Pretty soon, we'll see about 500, 700 million users. Let's take a look at the predictions of Dave Balducci. He said in 2020, no country with more than 50% of the top developers. So that means they're going to have a growth economy inside Roblox where their developers will grow from 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000. There will be 1 million concurrency in a Roblox game. They hit that already. A major brand will release a game to Roblox as their primary platform. We have seen this happen, and more brands are happening for 2021. A national movie based on the developer's game story already happened. More than 50 million people are learning to code on Roblox. That already happened. More than 100,000 people will watch a Roblox game stream in 3D. That already happened. 50% of toys sold will have a Roblox scan tag. Not yet happening, but it will. A Roblox developer will earn $50 million in a year, similar to how the YouTube content creator economy has enabled some YouTube personalities to earn more than $100 million a year. 100% company will develop on Roblox? Yes, actually more. President of the US will mention the Roblox avatar and camera. That actually happened. Well, not Biden, but eventually, yes. A major national movie premiere on Roblox getting more engagement than TV or online video. Yes, that is happening with Netflix. Tesla is going to use Roblox developers in some promotional effort. Hasn't happened, but it could. So David Bajuki is, of course, predicting large social gatherings. He said this in 2020 are going to happen in the Metaverse. Ultimately, it's going to happen on Roblox. This is what he said, and this is what we believe upon. And people will connect socially. This is what he said. This also what's going to happen. When people can go to schools, they'll have their school done inside a Roblox classroom. So games, quests, relics, find treasures. I do believe that everything that he's done and said in 2020 is happening in 2021. And I look forward to actually more. You could see trailers like movies of Roblox, Wonder Woman in Roblox, Lil Nas concert experiences, right? So people are trading robo-dogs, just as what they're doing with their blockchains. 11-year-old, 7-year-old teaches me about Roblox. This is a video game turning teens into millionaires. So I do think that Roblox is a big deal, bigger than what people are seeing. And making Roblox games is really lucrative. These are 18-year-olds making enough Roblox games to finance college educations and, in fact, their livelihoods. So there are definitely a lot of developer-creator economy. It's not a problem for me that Roblox is actually having losses balloon because the losses balloon because they've paid more developers who are creating more games inside, which allows people to actually stay within Roblox. It's like Facebook hiring 1,000 more developers, and nothing wrong with that to grow the social media platform. So let's take a look at the chart of Roblox here. Roblox fell down 5%. We are willing to buy at 75. We are willing to buy more at $70 should another drop ensue. Why is it falling down if the numbers are not as bad as you say? Well, the numbers can fall, the stocks could fall because people have high expectations. In the short term, the expectation is you've got resistance here at $90. perhaps can even go to $60. But in the next foreseeable years, I'd say Roblox has a better chance of actually getting market share away from your platforms, away from your Netflix, away from Facebook's. So you have to see the future. And I think if you believe in the metaverse, you want to actually believe in Roblox. Roblox is creating that future for you. Another headline, of course, everyone is saying that the Taliban of Afghanistan has nothing to do with the market. So why should it actually make the market sentiment fall? Yes, it has nothing to do with the market, but the market can actually sell off if they believe that another war or 9/11 problems are going to happen. Let's read through this. US intelligence analysts are predicting it will take more weeks before the civilian government in Kabul fell to Taliban fighters. In reality, it only happened a few short days. On Sunday, Taliban retook Afghanistan capital almost 20 years after they were driven from Kabul by US troops. Although the Afghan security forces were well funded and well equipped, they put up little resistance as Taliban militants seized all of the country following the withdrawal of US troops beginning in early July. On Sunday, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani fled the country, abandoning the presidential palace to Taliban fighters. US officials have already admitted they miscalculated the speed of Taliban to advance across the country. The fact is, we've seen that the force has been unable to defend the country, and this has happened more quickly than we anticipated. Okay, so who are the Taliban? The Taliban are made up of former Afghan resistance fighters known collectively as Mujahideen, who fought the invading Soviet forces in the 1980s. They're imposing their Islamic law in the country, removing any foreign influence. After the Taliban captured Kabul in 1996, the Islam organization put in strict place rules. Women had to wear head-to-toe coverings. They were not allowed to study or work. They were not allowed to travel alone. TV, music, and non-Islam holidays were also banned. This changed after 9/11 when 19 men hijacked 4 commercial planes in the US, crashing into the World Trade Center towers, into the Pentagon, and another destined for Washington into a field in Pennsylvania. More than 2,700 people were killed in this attack. The attacks were orchestrated by Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, who operated from inside of Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. Less than a month after the attack, US and allied forces invaded Afghanistan, aiming to stop the Taliban from providing a safe haven to Al-Qaeda, stopping Al-Qaeda from using Afghanistan as a base of operations for terrorist activities. If there's any question of whether another repeat of these attacks are going to happen, the market is actually trying to be very cautious because of potential airstrikes and all of these wars. I don't think that the market is actually prepared for any war this month or next month. Notice, this is our commitment to provide a secure environment, but notice what happened. 1975 Saigon and Kabul, Afghanistan, here 2021. This is a rising risk, and therefore some people are so afraid that they're actually hiding in cash. We saw the movement in the market is really suffering. You could see huge losses, a lot of losses, particularly in the SPACs. Nobody is buying SPACs. And at the very least, even the likes of strong companies are also getting sold down. Notice the movement, C Limited falling 5%, Twilio falling 5%, Tesla 4%. Yes, there are talks about the autopilot system of Tesla, but you can see that these drops of 5%, 4% on your big caps are really a flight to safety. Although there is strength here on Google, Nike, Microsoft, Facebook, PayPal, Apple, and eBay, we don't see all of these strength happening forever. So there's really a definite sell-off in the market, most especially of your downtrodden stocks. What has been weak continues to be weak. New lows happening in your entire Chinese sector. Notice 10% drops on Douyu, Dada, Futu, Tencent Music Entertainment, Tiger, you're seeing drops further. 2269 is Wuxi Biologics, Xpeng, Billy, Neo, all of your Chinese stocks in general. This is a huge red month, and it's a huge red day and a huge red month. We haven't seen the bottoms generally in the market. We have been seeing weakness, and it's safe to say that the weakness will persist for the next foreseeable weeks and months. How should you position your portfolio? Okay, some people have a question. If you foresee the market to be weaker in the next foreseeable months, should I just nuke to the event that the markets will fall next month? Anyway, perhaps September or October. I have time to get back in. It's really a question of whether you are confident in timing the market. So some people are confident in their timing skills that the market will fall, definitely, that they would nuke it, and then they'll buy back next month. That is a call for you to discuss within yourselves and your family. Neither is right, neither is wrong. If you choose to do nothing, as long as you're going to cost average companies, you can. So for instance, let's say, what if the company you're cost averaging is Roblox? You saw the business is doing well, but it could actually fall to $70. So you want to sell 77 right now because it will fall at 70 or 60. I don't know if it's going to fall 70, if it's going to go 60. What I do know is that Roblox business as a whole is doing well. Now, if you're scared, you have to think about your asset allocation. If your exposure in the market is too huge for you, then you sell. If your exposure is not too huge, you can hold on to it. You can even add more into it. If the market falls next month, then do so according to plan. Okay, so that's how you should approach your portfolio. PaySafe is not a buy for me. I think that in general for the fintech, it's not the leader. For fintech, I would choose to buy Square and PayPal because I see dominance on these two fronts. So whether PaySafe goes 5, 6, 7, I don't think that there's a reason for me to buy PaySafe. PaySafe, aka BFT, SPACs in general are seen as less resilient as a sector and as a company, so I prefer not. Beyond Meat is a growth stock. Definitely at $120, it could fall, but whether you have it now, yes, it will fall $110 or $90. But in the short term, anything goes. The short-term resistance of Beyond Meat is 130. The support can go as low as 90. It's now doing 117. Why is there a resistance at 130? The question is really Delta variant. What's happening with Beyond Meat is that they had a decline in their recent quarter reports because of restaurants not being able to recover. And take note, Beyond Meat, the plan and the mission and vision Beyond Meat is to handle vegetarian and flexitarian options for the people who want to eat plant-based. And that could take some time. If you think a year further for restaurants to actually deliver, then Beyond Meat will suffer in the short term. But is it a sell forever? No. I think that's just gonna, in general, all your restaurant-related reopening themes, Beyond Meat, Wynn Casinos, anything related to reopening stocks, it's gonna suffer maybe 3 months, 6 months. But I think that the general market is willing to assume that the vaccines are gonna help prevent this the lockdown pressure yet again. How about Roku, Twilio, Zillow? Roku, the numbers are good for me. Yes, it's probably gonna fall $300. The first assumption that you have to assume is it could fall. Don't blind yourself that the stock will not fall. So actually, think about it. If the stocks would fall, should I have 25% cash? So even if I have to sell it at 356 or 360, if that helps me so that I could buy Roku at 380 or Roku at 320, because for all you know, Roku could also not fall. I think Roku is the dominant in the connected TV. The fact that they grew 19% tells you that Roku is not a problem. Roku and Roblox deserves to be in the buy and never sell category. But if you want to sell, do whatever you want. Twilio, Zillow, people like these names. Twilio at about 350. From a chart per se, I think Twilio hasn't reported numbers. Or if it has, I haven't read the numbers. Twilio to me has always been expensive. I wouldn't buy it here at about 346. I'm not as confident. Haven't read the numbers. Cloud-based communications is the reason why people love Twilio. Zillow is a real estate platform. So far, I haven't read the numbers of Zillow, but coming from the fact that Redfin and Opendoor has been delivering, it means that the drop in Zillow could be technical based, not fundamental based. So let's assume the worst. Zillow would fall. This is where the support of Zillow will go. Where is my charts? Teka. Let's go to charts. The first thing that you have to assume is that, well, you prepare for the worst. You deal with the fact that the stocks would fall until next month, until September, because there is a crisis happening on your geopolitical tensions. Zillow broke this $100, 103. Therefore, it has an open view until $90. So from 94, yes, it can fall to 89, can even fall to as low as 85. So let's assume the worst. It falls to 85. I haven't read the numbers, but 80% earnings surprise, and yet the market sold it down. So either way, you could see that the market is selling things off out of panic. So if you have Zillow, if you want to buy at 85, not a problem. How does Roblox compare to Minecraft? In terms of users, I think Roblox is more dynamic because Roblox allows developers to keep on creating games inside. So Roblox is a metaverse. Minecraft is just a single game. Yes, you can create stuff with Minecraft, but I think from what I've read and from what I've researched, Roblox is far more dynamic, has more options. That's why you don't hear people making a Gucci garden on Minecraft. That's also the reason why you don't have a Stranger Things metaverse inside Minecraft. And if you try to listen to any Facebook related metaverse topic, none of them will say that, well, we are trying to fight Minecraft. No. Facebook would say, yeah, we're trying to compete with Roblox, whether he admits it or not. Any thoughts on Axie, my DeFi pet games, Nikki? Unfortunately, I couldn't really give a comment on something I have no strong knowledge about. But what you're seeing with Axie Infinity and all of these my DeFi, all these pet games, are really just a function that you can build a blockchain on top of an existing community. You can actually make money off of it. PaySafe earnings. Okay, what I know about PaySafe is that the clients are sports related betting. So if you're bullish on sports betting, and as long as those sports betting have PaySafe, then you can see about that. However, and this is something you have to understand, payment gateways are a dime a dozen. I could bet on DraftKings with or without PaySafe. I could use a cash app. I could use Bitcoin if I wanted to. When the time comes that they allow cryptocurrencies. So the moat question is the bigger question about PaySafe. So I think that you have to be careful about PaySafe because don't think there's moat. Let's go to their charts. PaySafe dropping a lot, breakdown. So chances are earnings was not that good, right? So if the earnings is not that good, there's no reason to keep it. You have to switch it. Sinks after a third quarter guidance miss. Says here, beats on revenue, but revenue outlook is soft. So we could read the earnings transcript tomorrow, or you can read it for yourself. But the fact is, in terms of fintech, I would suggest you stick with Square rather than sticking with PaySafe. Grow Generation, Tilray, I don't think they're actually bullish. So it could be a valuation problem with Grow Generation because you've seen almost all of your gardening stocks fall down. But I'm not really that bearish with Grow Generation. If it falls $20, there could be a buyer. So far, I think the drop of Grow Generation was earnings related. So it could fall. You could see that when people don't like earnings, they just sold it down as fast as they can, right? So here, there was a gap down on earnings, so they sold it down. You are still seeing a strong sell-off. Next support is $24 and $19.95. So Grow Generation will continually fall. Any rallies will be sold. Any rallies above 36 is going to be sold here. You're seeing that these positions are now underwater. All of these in the last 6 months or 8 months of the year is a sell-off. It could fall $20. Tilray is already down to about 13, but it doesn't mean that it won't fall to about $12 or 11. No earnings. I haven't seen any cannabis name in general had an outperform. So think Tilray did well on the earnings, got sold down. Haven't read carefully on their business update, so I can't quite say. I'm not that confident on cannabis as a sector per se to be a long-term play. I usually trade cannabis. Military, weapons manufacturer stocks. In general, I know that people are thinking about the potential chaos and war, so they're probably thinking about Smith Wessons. But I'm not really planning to buy any guns company. But usually, this one is always a gun company that people look at. Smith & Wesson brands, $20 rose to 38. You might want to check it out. But I'm not that confident with these guns and weapons manufacturers. It's not something that's on my radar. Okay, so thanks. Today's topic is just Roblox. But in general, I'd say that the market is weak. Expect that that weakness will persist. Don't assume that it's going to rise. Even a good number can actually be sold down. But you have to think, if I have a great company and it's being sold down, and I have a bad company here that's also being sold down, I prefer to sell my bad companies and switch it to good companies since it's falling down 10-20% anyway. Which means I took a look on Grow Generation's numbers. It's not that bad. So let's say that you have an opportunity to buy Grow Generation at about $15. Let's assume it falls 50% for the month. At $15, you might have to think, hey, even if I don't plan to buy Grow Generation, since I believe in gardening and I believe in the indoor farming, I probably would buy Grow Generation $15 below. At some point in time, there is a definitive value. We covered Grow Generation at about 9 to 12. That's why I'm more confident to really stick it na $10, $12, $15. That's the price that I would never sell my Grow Generation. Because that's really my fundamental buy price. It's not really $30 or $35. Yung ganon, trade price lang yon. We started to initiate coverage, Grow Generation about 9 to 15. I like the fact that for the year, they grew the revenues. I didn't see any bad thing in their revenues. If there's one thing that I could say with the market selling off, it's valuations. Sometimes it's a bit weird. You would argue, okay, so Roblox would fall $60, perhaps it's because of valuation. It could fall $40 billion. It could even fall $35 billion. For all things said and done, the market can go down and down and down. I'm not gonna pretend that it won't fall because it will. And might as well, you might have to assume the market will fall. So that you're not surprised, September, a 9/11 crash happens, because people are so scared of Delta variant as well. Think about all the risks. And then if you accept that risk, you say you buy and that's it. You buy it for those risks. And if you're not ready for those risks, then don't bother buying. You wait if you want to wait. Bye-bye.